All right, so I posted a video on my TikTok, not even my TikTok, my Instagram account, right? And it was basically telling y'all why men will sleep with you, right? And then ghost you afterwards. Or not necessarily ghost you, but pull back their energy afterwards. And there was a lot of women in the comments who were giving their opinion. You know, they were kind of outraged, to be honest with you. And I kind of want to give you guys a little bit more perspective on that topic in particular, so you guys aren't just lost in the sauce, right? Now, disclaimer. Oh my God, throat chakra. I don't, my fault. I don't condone any type of manipulation tactics, right? The purpose of me getting on here and explaining these type of things to you guys is so you don't fall victim to the actions of men, right? Because in my experience, I've been running across a lot of women, right? My dating experience has been kind of weird because I'm an empath and I'm very conscious and aware of, you know, the people that I talk to. When I'm taking my glasses off, when I was getting around these people, I said the last 5 to 6 girls all told me the same thing. They were healing. They were healing from their past relationships. Now, whatever reason that relationship ended was their reasoning, right? But a common denominator that I was seeing in a good amount of them was abuse, right? Women who were dealing with things yet going back to the same men who were traumatizing them solely because they didn't understand what was actually happening, right? It's a very big difference when you understand what a man is doing to you, because your reaction to his actions are different. If you don't understand why that man is acting a certain way, you're going to think it's probably you. You're going to become overstimulated. You're going to start questioning yourself and doubting yourself, which is ultimately what that man wants you to do in order for him to keep control. You see, what I explain is the underlying perspective of a patriarchal headspace, right? A lot of men is rooted in that patriarchal headspace because society has bred that patriarchal headspace underlying in things. It's in our religion, it's in the government systems, it's in a lot of different things, but it's such a silent energy that we don't realize it. So when you women start interacting with men and things in the society, you're getting put in situations without knowing you're being put in them, which is why I posted that clip in particular saying, this is why men do that. You know, sometimes men will sleep with you, then pull back afterwards, solely to see your reaction. Are you still tied into your, like, do you still have your emotions tied to your intimacy, versus are you somebody who can just give out your intimacy freely and, you know, you just don't have no emotional connection to that? That's why they do that. Now, it's not always, like I tried to tell somebody in the comments, from a place of evil, right? Because when somebody doesn't know that they're operating from a patriarchal headspace, they think what they're doing is right. They think how they're acting is right. Are you clicking? So they're not intentionally doing these things. Sometimes some men do, right? But they're not intentionally doing these things to see, like, to try hurting you. Like, in the back of their head, they're not like, I want to damage her. They're more of like, I want to make sure I'm picking the right woman. Unfortunately, you know, men have certain ways of going about things where, low battery. But we have certain ways of going about things that's very logical. 1 + 1 = 2. And we gauge you guys off of your actions, not so much what you're saying. My papa told me this too, like, men get caught with their eyes, women get caught with their ears, with you guys' ears, right? Men aren't necessarily listening to what you're saying. We're paying attention to what you're doing. So if your actions aren't cohesive with the picture or the ideal that a man has of you, he's probably going to get you loose. And yeah, I don't really think there's much to, like, really add about that subject further than, like, more than the point of they're doing it to test you. You guys test men. You guys test us a lot. Whether you guys realize it or not, it'd be the subtle things, right? Like seeing if you have to offer to do something. See if he's going to offer to do something. Like, you guys put men through subtle tests. Men do it too. And that's why this dating scene is so confusing. That's why this dating scene is where it's at, because everybody's testing each other and everybody's playing games with each other because everybody's scared of being hurt. Everybody's scared of putting their heart on the line again and getting damaged by somebody else who was unhealed. You see, the core root of all of our problems is the unhealed individual. which is why I make my content. And sometimes I don't even touch on the men really, right? Because a lot of times they either don't want to hear what I'm saying, because once again, it's a contrast in headspaces. You know, when I talk to men about these subjects and about these topics, they approach it more from the headspace of I'm trying to argue with them, or I'm trying to debate with them, or something like that, right? But then when I give this information to you queens, right, you guys are actually listening. You guys are actually, you know, thinking about what I'm saying, which is why I do what I do. Because if more people were healed, we would stop entertaining and going after the unhealed individuals who was doing nothing but causing us more trauma. We would stop going after the things that's blatantly in our life to hurt us. The moment we switch our focus, the moment we become better people, the moment that we start working on our own levels of self-esteem, loving ourselves, taking care of ourselves, truly asking what do we want and how do we plan on getting there in this lifetime, only then will we get to the point where this dating scene starts to somewhat fix itself. It always starts with us. It always starts within. It always starts with the level up in energy and integrity and morals, right? Now, when it comes to these men, men grow at their own pace, right? The things that I'm saying about how certain things are manipulative and all this type of game and stuff like that, most men, I'm not gonna say most men, I want to say about 60 to 70% of men eventually grow out of that headspace, right? But that eventually is tied to their sequence of events in their life, meaning they were going to have to learn some hard lessons. They were going to have to, you know, grow up. They were going to have to experience some more people, experience some more things before they got to the conclusion that how they were operating in their life before wasn't conducive to where they were trying to get to. Sometimes that doesn't happen at the early stages like it does for a woman, because, you know, for you women, you guys start learning these lessons in dating like really quickly. I'm not gonna lie. Why? Because your emotions are embedded from day one, right? So you guys start learning these lessons with like mid-20s, maybe, you know, early 30s, to where you're really like, whoa, I gotta really start addressing myself, working on my self-esteem. We're asking, what do I really want? And, you know, doing different things. Sometimes men don't learn those lessons until later on in life, because they have so much of a free spirit. It's going to take a relationship where their emotions were deeply involved in order for them to shift out of that headspace. This is also why I say heartbreak is one of the most powerful things that a man can go through. Because when a man gets his heart broken, it shifts his reality, it shifts his perspective, and it makes him start asking, well, what happened? What did I do wrong? How did I overlook this? And it kills a man's ego. It kills a woman's ego as well. Heartbreak in general, in any facet, and it isn't always just with your intimate partners. Heartbreak with family, your job, whatever the case may be. When you really go through something and you get hurt to your core, it makes you look at yourself, especially if it was a narcissistic situation. You're going to doubt yourself. But the process of you doubting yourself gives you the opportunity to reassure yourself. It is a very potent learning curve that happens at different times in everybody's life. You get me? Like, if you're running around being manipulative and you're running around being a dickhead and an asshole, karma's going to eventually catch up, and you're going to run into that exact same scenario, that exact same person in a different body. It's going to take that person showing you yourself for you to realize that you didn't want to be who you were. Are you catching me? It takes the cheater being cheated on. It takes the narcissist being over narcissist, or whatever. You get what I'm saying? Over manipulated, out manipulated. There we go. It takes people going through those hard lessons in order for them to realize what they were doing was messed up. But unfortunately, you queens are going through the shitty end of the stick, because while men can let go, right? We don't have that problem of we're attached to everything that we've encountered. You guys do. And if you guys are encountering nothing but unhealed and toxic men, because you guys aren't operating from high self-esteem, you're going to end up like the rest of the bad seeds, which is going to give these men another reason to call you guys bad seeds. You get what I'm saying? Men are calling you guys bad seeds because we're looking at all the bad seeds, and the good seeds are acting from unhealed, like lack of clarity, and they're becoming bad seeds. And it's putting the perspective in men that all women are the same, when it's really not the case. All women are running into the same thing, which is causing the same. Okay, so Yeah, my phone had overheated. But like I was saying, and for a better lack of words, just to conclude this video, we are operating from unhealed trauma and lack of clarity. And since there's no direction, everybody's falling in the same bucket of being traumatized. Everybody's getting their feelings hurt. Everybody's going through something because there's no direction and nobody's actually healing. Everybody's focused on having a good time. So with that being said, I love you guys. I love you guys. I love you guys. Be careful. Pay attention to these people. Pay attention to how they act. Pay attention to how they're treating you. And if your intuition, if your body is telling you something is off, something is probably off. It would be wise for you to trust it, right? These are all lessons that I had to learn personally, which is why I wrote about it in my books, Message to South Central, and my guided healing meditation for men. Even though that book was wrote from, oh my God, even though that book was wrote from the perspective of a man, the things that I was touching on would help you women a lot too. It would. Because it shows you the psyche of a man. Once you understand how we think, how we piece apart our interactions and our scenarios, you'll start interacting with us differently because you'll know how to play our game. Or not even play our game, but beat the game. Because it's only games because everybody's unhealed. Everybody's broken. So yeah, man. I love y'all. I love y'all. I love y'all. I'm going to see you on the next video. And the links to those books, like I just said, is down in the description. I'm going to see y'all later.